Great, Charles. This is the little toolbox that you are going to be using, the industrial tools I like to call them. You need to know each of them. These are tools that businesses use. So one, if maybe one day your business manager or partner in a business asks you to do a SWOT analysis, Porter's 5 Forces or PESTLE analysis, you know what they're talking about. It's also to help you in that it gives you some sort of framework, some sort of idea where to start. A lot of my learners ask, why do we learn these things? It's because we're giving you something to start somewhere. You can develop your own tools one day, but this is where it all begins. This is the foundation phase. Okay, so the first one being SWOT, then Porter's 5 Forces, and then PESTLE. Okay, so PESTLE obviously being the acronym, and SWOT being the little acronym for that. So let's first move on to SWOT analysis. Now, you guys should be doing this since grade 10. This should be old hat to you. This should be very straightforward. But again, let's do the revision. Let's make sure you understand it. All right.
And very interesting, Ross, if you look at your tool set, your SWOT analysis has got to do with your micro environment inside the business that you are controlling. Your Porter's 5 is where we look at our market environment. And your PESTLE is where you're going to be looking at your macro environment. So each one of these tools allows you to look at a different business environment. Just to give you a total overview of the challenges that the business will be facing.
Perfect. So learners, please remember that. Okay, so we're going to do our first one. It's just SWOT analysis. Now, again, as you can see from the slide, the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. SWOT. Now, obviously, as Amanda said, when you're looking at what you did wrong, you need to be honest. That's why this little tool is perfect. It forces you to look at not only your strengths. I know a lot of learners know what their strengths are, but not many know what their weaknesses are. So this is a tool that helps businesses do exactly that. Be honest with yourself. So strength, internal, do I have skilled workers? Don't I have skilled workers? Would be the weakness of that. Weakness, again, is an internal thing. Not enough money. Do I have resources? Is my business healthy otherwise? Opportunities, external to your business. Is there new markets that I could grow into? Threats, are there other competitors in my vicinity? Are there new people going to open up? Okay, so SWOT, what are my strengths so that I know where I'm okay, what I can use to motivate my business? Weaknesses, I know where I can improve. Opportunities, I know where to grow. And threats, I know what to look out for. Again, this is a truth tool. Make sure that you're truthful with your business. Make sure you're truthful yourself so that you can actually implement a good strategy, not something that is just thought up on just your strengths. Right. Okay, so that is our SWOT analysis. Okay, so Porter's 5 Forces. Now, this one does tend to scare a lot of matrics. It does scare my learners a bit, but let's go through it. It's not so bad once you look at it and make it simple. Right, so we have 5 forces, 5 dots, 5 different things. Now, if you remember what are your elements of a marketplace, then you start to see a bit of a pattern here. So number one, the center one is rivalry. Rivalry has to do with who's in competition with you. Who is the people that is taking your customers? That is who your rival is. So how many of them are there? That's your first question. Next is, can your product be substituted for anything else? Can someone else's product replace yours? Now, this is different. Don't get it confused with rivalry. That is the direct. They're selling exactly the same sort of product as you, whereas the substitute can be something different, that it replaces your product. Okay, so 1, rivalry. 2, threat of substitute. Now, the next 2 I'm going to mention. Remember, we have consumers in our marketplace. What are the power of our consumers? And just behind them, what is the power of our suppliers? Now, I've shortened this a bit, but it's the buying power and the bargaining power of suppliers. So our buying power is, do we have a few customers or few consumers who buy a lot from us? Remember, when we have a customer who buys a lot from us, they have a lot of power over our industry, over us. So the minute they don't buy from us or they go somewhere else, that can be very bad for us. So we need to know that. We need to know, are we vulnerable there? Then we have bargaining power of suppliers. Our suppliers, now if we only have one supplier, okay, what's going to happen if they don't supply to us anymore? We're definitely going to be in a big problem area. We're not going to be able to sell products. Our business is at risk. But now let's go to the other one. If we have lots of suppliers, we now start sitting in a power position. So where are we? This is what this tool does. It shows us where we are. Suppliers are a very tricky one. Okay, so the more suppliers, better for us. We can say to them, like, right, we can go to supplier B. Supplier A is charging us this price. Can you do us a better deal? And then we can obviously either go with supplier B or stay with supplier A. That is where we're looking at it. Okay, our last Porter's 5 force is new entrants. Now, a lot of the learners get confused. Is that have to do with rivalry? Yes, it kind of can. New people, new competitors come into our marketplace. Can new people come in there? Is there a chance that new companies can open up or not? That's what we need to look at. So 5 points, 5 different things to look at to see where is my business in the marketplace. Okay, so what I did do with Porter's 5 forces, I did a little bit of an example. I did Eskom, mainly because it is in the news, and obviously now hopefully it will stick in your minds. So if we look at the example, we have the same 5 forces, and the questions we needed to ask, or should be asked, can we use other energy sources? Okay, can we substitute Eskom, is what we're asking. Do consumers have any other options? What is the power of our consumers? Can we really go anywhere else? Is there any other energy suppliers? That has to do with, is there competition between Eskom and another energy supplier? Yes, no. Who supplies to them? Will coal increase or run out? Okay, that's a socioeconomic issue. Has to do with resources. Can any other businesses start in our marketplace? Now, I did that from the Eskom's point of view. Now, obviously, the energy regulator is the one that issues licenses, so that's up to them. See, now, when we have a regulator, that changes the marketplace. But this helps us actually identify that problem. Is there a regulator? Is there not? For instance, sitting on the side of the road, anyone can start selling fruit. There is no regulation. So our new entrance can happen at any point. Okay, so 5 points. That is a little bit of an example I've given to you so that you can remember. Hang on, those are the 5 points. Consumers, suppliers, competition, any substitute or product, and then can anyone else come play in my marketplace or not? Right, so I hope that helps quite a bit. Let's move on to our next tool, which Amanda...
Eskom is such a sensitive topic now at the moment with the load shedding.
It is, but hopefully then you remember it. That's all I'm hoping for at the end of the day, is that the learners remember it.
Oh, absolutely. Grade 12 from here we're going on. We're going to look at our PESTLE. Remember, Ross said it's an acronym, which means each letter in that acronym stands for something. So your first one you're going to get is political. Obviously, your PESTLE looks at your macro environment. So the first P stands for your political environment. The business does not stand in isolation. We don't exist in a vacuum. We need to know what's happening in our macro environment. It is totally beyond our power. We have absolutely no control, but we can not influence at least, but we can decide how we're going to deal with these issues. So in the political arena, our example here is affirmative action. As the business, we need to be aware of all current legislation. That is why you did the National Credit Act, you did Black Economic Empowerment, you did Employment Equity, you did Labor Relations Act. As a business, we need to know what is happening in our political environment, as well as, later we will link it up with legal, we need to know our labor laws. The E in PESTLE stands for economic. And your economic example now, the petrol price that's increasing the first Wednesday in April. We're looking at the inflation rate, the interest rate that is increasing. Business need to be aware what is happening in our economic environment. Currently, South Africa is in a recession, and that will impact the business. It will impact our marketing of the business, how we operate. It will impact our bottom line at the end of the day, which is our profit. So this is the one that we really, really need to be looking out for. Then you get your social environment. Now remember, as far back as grade 10, we actually combine the two often when we talk of our socio-economic issues, which means like partly social, they're partly economic. But together the two plays a very, very big impact on business. Our example cited there is crime. But you know there's HIV AIDS, there's piracy, there's bootlegging, there's gambling. There's all these socio-economic issues that impacts the business, and then we need to be aware of them. Then, fourthly, is your technological environment. And even here, daily there is new technology coming onto the markets, and business needs to be aware of them. I mean, I just look at it, the technological improvements that we had in education these days. There's smart boards, there's e-beams, there's interactive data projectors, and the changes happen so quickly, which means you need to keep up to what's happening. I mean, the business needs to know what is trending at the moment. Even when it comes to social media and that, the way we communicate with our customers is totally different. We can't communicate with the youth like you guys via the newspaper. We should be using Facebook and Instagram and those type of media because of the technological changes that has taken place. The next one is your labor laws. I've mentioned this already. And the last one is going to be your environmental issues. Here we're looking at pollution, we're looking at recycling, we're looking at reducing, we're looking at anything that impacts our environment. We're looking at quotas when it comes to the fishing industry.
Okay, man, I'm just going to jump in there. I see one of the questions is, what does the AA stand for under political? That one has to do with affirmative action. So politically, how does that affect our business? Now, that's a politically reasoned out law, so affirmative action is what it stands for at the end of the day. So just remember, PESTLE is our way of taking each point, breaking it down, and analyzing different countries. Remember, your business might move to a different country. So take this, use it, and go, what is the political landscape there, or economic, social? It's so that you can actually know what does your playground look like. I use playground because remember, you go to different schools, different things. So this is a tool to help you look at each and every one of those angles so you know what you're dealing with, and you can come up with a good strategy.